Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, Tesla and Elon Musk put this out on their Twitter feed a couple of days ago. Now this is a teaser shot of what quite possibly could be the next edition from the Tesla lineup. Now obviously you don't see much of this other than a car peeking out from behind a garage door with the big letter D on it. That's actually just kind of captioning this picture in a nutshell, which you didn't need me to do, but I did anyway. That being said, we're figuring that this is the next edition, the Tesla Model D. But we know little to nothing more about this particular machine, other than Elon Musk said that this vehicle will make its official debut October 9th of 2014, which is only in a handful of days, so we'll hopefully know a whole lot more very soon, and we'll keep you in tune to what happens with this vehicle. Next up on the list, well, we talked about the Charger and Challenger Hellcat editions. And if you're living under a rock and you don't know what the Hellcat edition is, I'll fill you in once again. It has a 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8, putting out 707 brake horsepower and 650 pounds-feet of torque. And when it comes to the Charger edition, it only comes in 8-speed automatic only, as the Challenger comes in a manual and automatic options. But we're going to stick with the Charger because apparently a magazine, or at least a website, got a hold of one of these test mules and took it for a lap down a drag strip, and you won't be able to believe the numbers that this vehicle laid down. 0 to 60 came in 2.9 seconds. That's faster than a lot of supercars out there, which is hugely impressive for a car that weighs as much as this thing does. Not to mention the quarter-mile time, 10.7 seconds at 120 miles an hour. Hugely impressive. Now I'm going to squash the parade just a tad bit because, number one, if they were actually at a drag strip, chances are they were spraying it with a little traction compound, aka a little VHT, and the rear wheels just happen to be wrapped in a little bit stickier rubber called drag radials, which are basically street-legal tires, but they're really soft with very little tread at all for rain weather use. They are mainly used for drag racing options only, so aka that's why they call them drag radials. So that's a couple of things, but those being squashing the parade, the other part of saying that this thing is a lot more impressive than it is, if that's all they did, this car is still killing it. So we'll keep you in tune to what comes of this in the future, but hugely impressive numbers, at least in my mind. Next up on the list, when we talked about Ford, actually, well, what was it, back in July, I think, we talked about Ford actually making a triumphant return to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And a lot of people pointed out that the brand new Mustang was primed and ready to make its Le Mans debut, as 2016 will be 50 years to the day as far as their triumphant 1-2-3 finish at the 24-hour race in France. Well, now we're hearing a little bit more rumors that quite possibly, because it was a Ford, or a GT40 that is, that actually made that 1-2-3 finish, that possibly Ford could bring back the Ford GT for that triumphant return to Le Mans, and quite possibly that could spawn a road version of the GT coming back for the first time since 2005, which has got me very, very excited. And that's also why I picked it in the Gulf colors here, which I found this picture on the old interwebs, because number one, it's fantastic, and number two, it's got a little tie-in to the old Le Mans 24-hour race. So fingers crossed, and in a couple of years, we may have some fantastic news, and I'm assuming we'll know a whole lot more before then. Next up on the list, speaking of big-time racetracks around the world, the Nürburgring Nordschleife Loop has been the playground for the brand-new Chevrolet Z06. Now, the new Corvette Z06 also comes with a 6.2-liter supercharged V8, putting out 650 brake horsepower and 650 pounds-feet of torque. And if you'd like to see this thing pounding around the old Nordschleifer, I got a video up on the Facebook page. The link's down in the show notes. It'll take you right over there. You can check it out. It's pretty neat. But that being said, over the past couple of days, we got some sad news when it comes to the old Nordschleife Loop, as this picture and others like it have surfaced, showing that they've crashed one of the test mules that is the brand new Z06, which is not, hugely a big deal because this happens a lot, when you're testing a car, especially at a racing facility. Sometimes it can get away from you. And one of the engineers was at the wheel when this accident actually happened. Now, if you take a peek, the rear end of the car looks pretty good. It sounds like a lot of the damage was done to the front end of the machine. And I'm more than certain that Chevrolet didn't just send one Z06 over to the Nordschleifer. They probably sent a couple, maybe 3 of them. So there's more cars to get the testing done, but sad to see one of those mules bite the dust. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page and check out that Z06 video, the link's down in the show notes. If you like us over there, we'd appreciate it. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.